Hi.
Hey, look, we both did a thing. We both made it.
I know. I was like, I didn't see where the link was, but then I saw it. So.
Yeah, no, that's great. Yeah, we're just a couple minutes early, so we've gone live here, but we will just let the lives populate here. So how are you
Now,
doing?
how do I, when I present, do I
There's you should see a present
share
icon in the
screen?
middle. Yep.
All right. Yeah. Okay.
We have a forgiving audience, so
You can see it, right?
yes, I can. Yeah, I can see your presentation, and I can add it to the stream. I don't know if you've got the option to add it to the stream there as well.
Oh, I just turned off the stop share. I was just seeing if I could do that. Yeah, you do whatever you need. I don't know what to do there.
Perfect. So how's your week been going so far?
Well, I worked on this presentation all day today and some yesterday. And then I did something totally stupid and deleted all my a folder. I can't recover it, and it was in that folder. And so, literally, the last hour, I've been struggling. I've been doing my best to get. So it's not what I had originally, but I have something. So it didn't work out as great as I was hoping. So
well, I'm sure it was a practice run for your prepping. It'll be
yeah,
fun.
actually got me to practice the content. I was like, well, now I definitely have practiced it again.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, we're busy here. We're in the middle of getting ready to relaunch our store. So it's going to be getting a facelift here over the next 2 weeks. So
yeah,
so that's keeping us entertained on our side. So we'll be giving everyone watching tonight better access to watch all the live events and replays, and it's gonna be much better.
good.
So that'll be good. Well, I think we can probably get started, and I'll give you a formal introduction if that's okay. We're very lucky tonight to have Dr. Ross Carter back with us before. This is not his first rodeo with us, and you can find him online at druyouth.ai, which is a fabulous URL. Dr. Ross specializes in regenerative medicine and epigenetics. Sorry.
Epigenetics. Yeah, there you go.
Easy for you to say. And we're lucky to have it with us tonight to talk about the connection between sleep and aging and how you can get more restorative sleep and the insomnia genetic blueprint, which I'm super interested to hear about because I certainly have a few family members who suffer with insomnia. So I'm interested to hear what you have to say on this topic.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for the introduction, Jennifer.
Yeah.
All right. So I guess I'm going to try to switch everything.
Yeah, I'll remove myself and I'll let you have at her here.
If something's not working, please let me know without me going on for a half an hour and then.
For sure. Yeah, no, I'm right here with you, but I'll get myself.
All right, cool. Let me get this up and running. Hopefully you should see the sleep genetic blueprint. It's also called the insomnia genetic blueprint, but both of them are the same. And today I'm excited to talk about this topic. I think there's a lot of people. I know there's a lot of people in this in the space that most people, especially, are so stressed now, and they're not sleeping well. I know this myself through personal experience, but I want to give you some information that you probably haven't heard before. This is new information. So I'm gonna talk to you about what we call a 3-step system for people that are stressed out, which is pretty much everybody, so that you can sleep great every night. And this is even after you've tried maybe supplements, you've maybe even gone to traditional sleep therapy, you've tried other things, even medications. and they really haven't worked. They've kind of failed you. So I want to take you back a little bit. Can you remember a time when you slept great? You would go to sleep as quickly as you went to the bed. You'd put your head on the pillow, and just a few minutes later, you were gone. And you didn't wake up during the night. You woke up in the next morning. You felt great. You felt like you were fully rested, and you weren't relying on supplements or any kind of anything help. And you had tons of energy that day, and you didn't have to have a ton of coffee or energy drinks, and you really felt focused and not fatigued or sleep deprived. Do you remember when that was for you? Everybody's going to be different. So my promise really to you is I'm going to show you a system that you haven't heard about how to get this traditional get sleep without doing these traditional things that you've been taught, and they're still being taught. There's been so many advances, and we're going to talk about those in a second. So if you're a busy adult, and you're having problems with sleep or insomnia, or if it's not you, you do know somebody who is struggling with sleep problems. When I do these seminars, which I do, I speak at a place called Hippocrates Health Institute. And I do this seminar and ask how many of you have problems in just the last week with sleep. Just in 1 week, 90% of the people raise their hands. And I think the one person who doesn't just is lying. So I think most people are having, I know most people are having major issues with sleep. And I want to share with you some cutting edge discoveries that have only been really recently available in the last couple of years. So it's new information. Now, so maybe you've tried to help solve a sleep problem. Maybe taken over-the-counter sleep aids or even prescription medications. Maybe you've done all your sleep hygiene things like consistent bedtime. You might have tried cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia, relaxation techniques. Maybe you've taken herbal remedies like you drink some chamomile tea or valerian root. Maybe you've limited your screen time, the blue lights. You've done sleep restriction or sleep compression, white noise machines, warm baths, maybe even had a sleep study. So if you have done any or all of these things, then you need to listen to what I've got to say today. So we're going to talk about the newest scientific advancements that even most sleep specialists aren't even aware of. And I know that sounds a little crazy. Why wouldn't they know? And I'll share with you why. See, keep in mind, I'm not selling you anything here. So I'm not going to ask you to pull out a credit card and pay me $9.97 or something like that. I'm just simply going to talk to you about what you can do to help yourself. Now, if you are, if at the end you decide, hey, I want to, possibly do some work with you, that's a separate conversation. We'll set up a time and we'll talk. But right now, I'm not selling you anything here. So, are there days now that you stumble out of bed and you feel like you just haven't slept at all? It doesn't matter what you've tried. You've tried supplements and other things. It just hasn't solved the problem. Maybe you're drinking tons of coffee or, sugary snacks or energy drinks or something so that you have the energy to make it through the day. Are there days like that for you? Does the fatigue ever become more than a physical burden? It kind of creeps up on you. It can make you feel defeated or overwhelmed or hopeless. And maybe you've tried things. You tried everything. Really, nothing seems to work. And I want to let you know it's not your fault, but it is your responsibility. It's your responsibility to figure this out and solve this problem. Now, one of the main problems, the real problem with it is that the common methods, such as supplements and traditional sleep therapies and medications, only go after symptoms. They're not necessarily getting to the cause of the problem. And science, which is interesting, we have so many research things going on in science, and it progresses so much faster than the health community. And I mentioned earlier that a lot of sleep specialists aren't aware of some of these things I'm going to talk about because it takes years for information to disseminate through the through the channels, so that doctors or other specialists even discover these things. They don't know about this. So these are just brand new information. And I want to tell you about these cutting edge discoveries, but that's what's going on. There's research and there's discoveries, and it just takes a long time for you to hear about them. Now, sleep issues might be rooted into something more complex than, say, a mental state. A lot of times it's, you need to learn how to do breathing exercises and relaxation, and that's going to solve your problem. And a lot of times it doesn't. It doesn't. Because it doesn't address the physical things like hormonal imbalances, inflammation, cellular dysfunction. Those things really affect your ability to sleep. And to truly address insomnia or other sleep problems, you've got to look at your unique genetic makeup, your lifestyle, your overall health. It's not about taking another supplement. We must shift our focus from merely trying to treat our symptoms to understand and address why you've got this in the first place. In the past few years in the field of genetics and epigenetics, they've made some amazing discoveries. And they've got all these studies out there that show that the same disorder that someone could have completely different causes from someone else. What works in one person may not work at all in another person. And it's not just about getting to sleep. It's about achieving healthy, restorative sleep, that when you wake up, you feel refreshed and you feel ready for the day, because that's what sleep is for. Sleep is so that your body can recover itself, so that you can continue to live. So the good news is I've figured out through a lot of pain a simple way to solve most sleep problems, and I'm going to walk you through in this training. Now, with the steps that I'm going to go through, it can help you wake up every morning and feel awesome, ready to tackle the day without hitting, tons of coffee or energy drinks. I mean, won't that be nice, right? Now, you can enjoy deep, uninterrupted sleep every single night, allowing you to spend quality time with your family in the evening without feeling drained or irritable. And the best part is you don't have to become a sleep expert or spend hours of creating these complicated routines. With this 3-step system, you can transform your sleep without researching and major lifestyle changes. Even if you've been let down by supplements, I'm sure we've all taken those, right? Or sleep medications in the past, we're leveraging these recent discoveries that have only been available recently. And the only reason I can share this with you is I have been through this. The good, the bad, and the extremely ugly. I have been down this road. So I don't know if I'd introduce myself. My name's Dr. Ross Carter. This is a picture of me. I don't know if you can see me while I'm doing this presentation or not, but this is what I look like. You'll see me after I'm done. I look just like this. I think I got the same shirt on. Yep. And my specialty, and I've been known in the field, is basically in the advanced technologies of peptides, exosomes, and stem cells, and using those to rejuvenate people's health, but also to help with sleep problems, which is new, right? So even though, a lot of people, I guess, a sought after expert in this area, they weren't always this way. And let me explain what I mean. Back when I was in my 30s, mid 30s, I went through an extremely difficult relationship breakup, and it affected me profoundly. I guess I started developing kind of a depression. But what happened was I started having problems getting to sleep. And then it got worse and worse, where I was just getting, I don't know, very little amounts of sleep. I mean, I was literally on fumes every day. It was so bad. I lost a tremendous amount of weight. I lost almost 50 pounds. I was anorexic for a brief period of time. It was horrible. But I went to all these doctors trying to fix this problem. And I started taking sleep medications. And man, I'm telling you, it took a long time, but some of them started to work. But I had to take like double doses or triple doses. I was taking a lot of these things. And then I would take them so much that after doing this so long, I became completely dependent on sleep medications. I was addicted, and that was for years. I mean, this is a long period of time. And it got so bad that eventually these doctors and the pharmacies would not provide me any more of the drugs I was taking, and Lunesta and Ambien and those type of things. Now, keep in mind, I had read every hygiene book. I had done all the correct things. I was doing everything I could to restore the sleep. It was the only thing that was helping, I guess, was the drugs. And I even, was doing meditation. I was doing everything I could, but I was so dependent on these medications. And I had years of addiction of it. I literally, once they they cut me off on the medications. So I decided, well, you know what? I'm going to go to a place, another country, in fact, where I can get these medications, which I researched online. And I didn't need a doctor's prescription at all. So I literally could just walk into a pharmacy and just buy. So I started going to Colombia, and I would go to their pharmacies. I mean, some of the times I would just do it at the airport. And I would buy boxes of this medication, these hallucinogens. I guess they're not. Well, they're hypnotics is what they are. And I would load up on like 6 months worth of medication. And, that's how I was getting my drugs after they cut me off here. And it got so bad that one time, and this is kind of when I hit my rock bottom, is when I found out I was running out of medicine. And I asked my mom, my wife's mother, who still lived in Colombia, to ship me medicine. And that was when everybody figured I had a problem, and I needed to do something about it. And that was when I was like, okay, I'm going to figure out this sleep thing. And so I had to break the problem, the cycle. I needed to learn how to relearn how to sleep naturally without the medication before it was, I'm too far gone. So listen, if you're having sleep problems, I mean, I doubt it was ever as bad as what I have been through with my life. And I turned it all around. So I want you to know there's hope. And the way I did this was, one of the things I learned about was genetics. I was learning about genetics and how your genetics actually can have an effect on your sleep. You have sleep genes. I didn't know that. And I was like, so once I found out, I got my genetics tested, I found that my genetics were not set up the way that was optimum for sleeping. So it was my genetics was a problem. And so, I had to, so I put all my energy into finding a more personalized solution tailored to my genes. Through trial and error over months, even years, I uncovered what worked best for me, for my unique, the way I was made, basically. And today I'm proud to say I sleep great, and I've developed this way to do it so that, you guys can do it too. And the clients that I work with were not superheroes, neither am I. I was just somebody that had to find a solution. And if I can do this and reverse all this and gain all my weight back, oh my God, if I can do this, you can too. Picture yourself how it would be if you fell asleep every night and you had great, sleep without interruptions. You wake up in the morning, you feel awesome, ready to take on the day. As I mentioned earlier, the real reason you're struggling with sleep isn't because you're not trying enough. Or that you need medication. It's just like there's like a sleep switch that's stuck in the off position, and you can't seem to get it to turn on, right? So let me share with you these 3 discoveries. The first discovery was what I mentioned before. I had problems with my genes, and they hid the key to my insomnia struggles. And once I learned what was going on with my genes, man, it made a huge difference. You can unlock your own personalized insights and solutions, but there's only a few companies I've worked with that actually know this information. Like the old stuff, like, the 23andMe and whatever, those aren't going to cut it. They just don't have the information. So decoding your genetic sleep pattern, because there's things like quality, your duration, your timing, especially with your circadian rhythm. All these are controlled by your genes. By looking at this genetic code, you can create a custom solution. And it can include things like lifestyle adjustments and therapeutic interventions. Second discovery is nutrition and hormone deficiencies. Look, I don't know if you should have your blood tested every 6 months. All right. And you need to know there are specific nutritional and hormonal deficiencies that most of us have, that when they're out of balance, your body doesn't work well. Consider like an orchestra, right? You've got everything is played in harmony and it sounds beautiful. But let's say your nutrients and your hormones are the instruments, and they all have their unique role. And when they're not functioning properly, it's the orchestra is going to sound like crap. So you need to make sure you optimize, not just normal, but optimize your nutrition, your hormones. And in fact, there's over 20 hormones and nutritional deficiencies that can affect your sleep. And the third discovery is something called inflammaging. It is a combination of inflammation and aging. So that word is called inflammaging. And in inflammaging is the fusion of inflammation and aging. It isn't just how it affects how you look and feel during the day. It really can go after your sleep, because what happens is you've got both of these things going on at the same time, and they really they cause sleep disturbances. Because as you get older, especially if you have accelerated aging due to this inflammation, you're going to have more sleep problems. So what we want to do is overcome our insomnia, restore our normal sleep patterns, and wake up feeling awesome. That's really our goal. And that's what I came up with, this sleep genetic blueprint. So it's a comprehensive nutritional hormone assessment, and we need to look at your hormone landscape, address any underlying issues that's going on that's causing you problems with the sleep. Look at inflammation, look at inflammaging analysis. We need to look how your body is aging, how much inflammation you have, and obviously, like I mentioned at the beginning, your genetics. We need to look at the genetic structure of your body, not everybody's, your specific body, so we can come up with something specifically that is designed the way your body is designed. So that is what I call the sleep genetic blueprint, and it gives you clear, actionable steps based on your genetic makeup. Most of you, if you're still listening, are here because you're committed to restoring your sleep. And if you're anything like me, you put a high value on your time, and you probably had success in other areas by focusing on getting results. And that conventional sleep therapies just fail because they don't consider your biometrics, your DNA. And by combining your personal genetic insights, nutritional rebalancing, innovative therapies, dietary changes, mind-body techniques, you can actually restore your sleep to where it used to be when you were, you felt great. And the old ways just don't work like they should, right? You can do this. And if you want to, we can do this something together. I'm here for you. So just imagine how it would feel if you no longer had insomnia or sleep problems. You felt great. You woke up in the next morning and you were ready to take on the day. What would that be like? And if you like help, I'd be delighted to help you with this. Now, doing this alone is not easy. You could try to waste a lot of time and money like I did and try to figure out, how to solve these problems. It's like going across country without a GPS or any signs. It's just going to be difficult. Successful people, they know what they want and why they want it. And then they ask who, not how. Who can they help? Who can help them accomplish it, but not how can they do it themselves? It's like if you have a roof leak, right? I mean, yes, you could go down to Home Depot and buy some tiles and various roof things and a ladder and all that stuff and try to fix it yourself, or you could hire somebody to do it right the first time, right? And so we've set up some times if you want to talk and see if there's any thing that we can do to help you. It's no charge. And what we do is we first look and get clear on what you want, and then we're going to uncover what challenges you're having, and then we put together a plan so that you reach your goal. That's basically what you do. So if you want to get your sleep back, we should talk, right? Here is a link that will send you right to a scheduling page. And now, normally I don't do the consults, but with me doing this for you guys live today, and it is live, it is Wednesday at August 9th, so I am live. If you, the first 20 people that do schedule, I'm going to actually be the one that will talk with you. Now, when you do schedule, you'll see that I normally charge $297 for my schedule. And there's a button that says something like redeem a code. And what you're going to put in is the word free, FREE, and then we'll drop it to 0. So you won't have to pay for it. If you don't put the code in, it'll charge you $297. So if you want to talk to me for free, this is the link, talkwithdrross.com. Hopefully that works. I am going to go back to this. Hey, there we go. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can still hear you. That's very generous of you to do that. Are you sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Are you continuing on?
Oh no, that's it.
Oh, okay, good. I didn't insert myself at the wrong time. Perfect.
Yeah, no. So
that's wonderful. That's very generous of you to offer to do that. Wow. I think that you're obviously right. Everyone's very, very different. So this consult would be appropriate for somebody who's not just having trouble falling asleep. I'm guessing it's probably for people who are having trouble staying asleep all night, doing that.
Exactly.
Like,
just any kind of sleep problem. Maybe you wake up over and over again. Maybe you toss and turn all night. You're not getting to sleep very quickly. You wake up, you go to the bathroom, and then you can't go to sleep. Or then I've been through all of these things many times, too many times. It's actually, I avoided talking about sleep for many years, problems, just because it was a painful subject for me. I really did, I have trauma from that experience. And, I tried everything I could come up with. I kind of glazed over that in this presentation just because I was running out of time to write it. But basically, you name it, I have tried it. It doesn't, red light and every supplement you could possibly name, I did cognitive behavioral therapy. I do brain tap. There's a million things that I was doing. And, until I broke this pattern and figured out, hey, my circadian rhythm is screwed up and I need to fix that. And my hormones are out of whack and my nutrition is not doing well. See, it's what the problem is when you don't sleep, your body can't recover very well. So even if you're taking all, different, doing things to help your body, you still have that challenge with your body not recovering well, and because it's not sleeping. So you have to break that cycle that happens, and then that can make you make a huge difference in your life. I know it did for me.
I'm assuming there's differences too, like for what's causing the sleep challenges, maybe for someone in their 30s. Personal experience, moms with kids who get into a broken sleep cycle versus maybe your 40s, 50s, 60s. Are there these different decades? Do they have different sleep challenges associated with them?
Yeah, you have that. When I was talking about inflammaging, typically as you get older, you'll have more chronic inflammation, and when you get older, that's what your sleep cycles can become erratic, and you're not going to sleep as well as you did when you were typically younger. But when you have accelerated aging due to usually dietary issues, you have deficiencies, you have toxicities, you have um, um, deficiencies, toxicities, and sensitivities. Those things can affect, so many systems in your body and accelerate that aging process. And then there are things that I utilize, like peptides and stem cells and exosomes, that are some advanced methods on reversing some of these amazing things. I mean, most people have never heard that you could use stem cells to help you sleep, right?
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, I mean, and you ask your doctor and they would think you were crazy, right? Because they don't know. That what was crazy, it takes at least 5 years before like a discovery is usually even considered by a medical provider, because what happens is the discovery happens and then they want enough proof before they even mention it to their provider, to their clients. So you could go years without ever knowing about something, and that's life. So it's important to stay up on the latest discoveries, especially when you're suffering. When you're suffering, you need a solution now. You don't want to wait until everything is all clear and safe 5 years from now. You might not make it. So it's important to know what's going on now.
What would you say to somebody who's evaluating their sleep? I think there's, I would wonder over the years, does the amount of sleep you need per night change? Because you hear about that a lot. And would you recommend that people maybe are using how they feel over a number of hours to evaluate the sleep?
Some people don't need quite as much. I've found that myself in particular, I don't think I've ever done like 8 hours in general. So I'm fine with 6.5, 7 hours. I feel fantastic. And I find there's a lot of people that are like that. So it's not necessarily the number of hours, unless you're just really, not getting, if you're under 6, then you're too low. But is at least 6, 6 to 8, is usually where you want to be, but it's depending on how you feel, of course. And the other thing is, a lot of people are using these kind of like watches, like I have, that'll monitor your sleep, and those things are not they're not that accurate. And the other thing is, now they can give you some kind of baseline stuff, which is good, but if you become dependent on looking at a piece of watch or technology to determine how you're going to feel that day, that's not a good thing to go with. So I stop. I don't wear these for sleeping. I just wake up and then I feel fine, and I don't need a watch to tell me that I slept good. If I feel great, I'm happy with that.
And I'm guessing this is also appropriate for somebody who's maybe sleeping excessively as well. Would that be an indicator of poor quality sleep?
That's a situation as well. You can have excessive sleep as well. I see there was a question about the code. That link hopefully will take you to a scheduling page. I'm going to type it in now. So when you go to you go to the, can you see my website?
I can't see your screen right now,
Oh,
but
okay.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
let me.
try it as well.
It's still it's on
Working.
the.
Thanks for flagging that, Elaine.
There we go. Hold on.
And then,
Let me take you to the scheduling and show you.
yeah.
Let me try this again. Scheduling. So what you should see is something like this. All right. So that's
Here, let me I'll add that to the stream. There we go.
Yeah. And then let's say you click on a time, you continue here, you put your information. Here's that redeem on the bottom. See, otherwise you see it says it's $295 or $297 or something. So you click on redeem code, you put the free in here and apply it, and then the price is no longer there. So that's what I meant by putting in the bottom here, this code right here.
If you keep struggling with it there, Elaine, just post again in the comments, and I'll make sure you get hooked up with this. No problem.
All right. So I see some questions. Hi, Linda. What do you think about using melatonin? I'm actually a fan of using melatonin because research has shown that as we get older, I'm 50 something, 3. The amount that I make is just going to be less, and I don't see any problem with using it as a thing to help increase the sleepiness that you have. So I'm a fan of melatonin. I don't think there's any problems. It actually is a strong antioxidant as well. It has some other benefits just besides help making you get sleepy. It doesn't put you to sleep. It just causes you to become sleepy is really what it is. And then we have another one. I'm not going to say your name because I cannot pronounce it.
Yeah.
Menopause. Yeah. So that's where you need to look at your hormones, especially, and your any deficiencies in your nutrition. So we do a pretty extensive blood work test. Checks over 63 different markers, including all your hormones, and you want to optimize those levels. So, and if you do that, it can help. But we want to also look at other things. I mean, that's just one area. But yes, you want to definitely first look at the hormones and the biomarkers there to see what's happening during your menopause. So that's where I would start.
That's great. This has been really great, and I'm going to definitely send an email out to everyone who attended today and give them the access to the link and the code. Thank you again for that, and for everyone who's watching. Like Dr. Ross said, he's doing the first 20 people to submit a request for an appointment get the consult directly with him, which is really wonderful. So. Yeah, thank you again so much for joining us here tonight. This has been great.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. My pleasure.
All right, thank you, everyone, and the replay will be available to watch, so you can share it with your friends and family as well, and watch for that email. Have a great day, everyone.
Bye-bye.